In Lesson 11.1, measures of central tendency are used to represent the middle values. So we're going to start off with some data here, and we're going to assume these are running times of some individuals given in minutes. And we are asked to find the mean, median, and mode. So when we think of the word mean, we think of average. When we think of median, we think of middle, and mode, we think of most. There's a symbol for mean. It's an X with a line over it, and it's called X bar. All right, so if we add up all of these values, 4 plus 7 plus 8 plus 8, we add them all up, we get 78. And then we divide that by the number of values given. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And that comes out to 8.6666 repeating, and we'll call that approximately equal to 8.7. Our median, which is the middle number, it's important that we have our values listed in order. And up here we can see that they are listed in order, so we're set there. And then we just take the middle value. So the middle value would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the middle value, or our median, is simply 9. If, however, we had an even number of values, let's say we had 10 or 6, so let's do 1, 2, 5, 7, 9, and 10. So now we have an even number of values, so now we were going to have to take the average of the two middle. So 12 divided by 2, so in this green set, our median, or our middle number, would actually be 6. And for our mode is the value that occurs the most. And you can remember that most, mode, they both have O's. So we're going to go back up to our data, and we have 2 8s and 2 9s. So our mode here is actually 8 and 9. Sometimes there'll be one mode, no mode, or in this case, more than one. Okay, a quick recap. Our mean is our average, and that came out to approximately 8.7. Our median was the middle number, that was 9, and the mode was the value that occurred the most, and in this case we had 2, so 8 and 9. And finally we have our outlier. It's a value that is much greater or smaller than most other values, and it can mislead our interpretation of the data. So for instance, if we go back up to our original data up top and I added a 75, it is much larger than the previous values given. It stands out. So it would skew our interpretation of the data. Next, we're going to look at measures of dispersion. And measures of dispersion tell you how spread out your data values are. So we're going to use the same values from our running time example, and we can determine the range by taking the highest value, which is 12. This is our max value. And from that, we're going to subtract our 4, our minimum value. So 12 minus 4 is 8, so our range is 8. I did a quick change of my values for standard deviation. I had quite a few, so I thought we'd simplify it a little bit. But anyway, we're given these values, and they have an approximate average of 7. I think it actually comes out to about 7.4, but we're just going to say the average is about 7. Okay, so we're going to find the standard deviation, and the standard deviation is a measure on average how far each value is from the mean, or the average of 7. So we're going to start by finding the variance, and the variance is represented with something like that. And it's equal to the average of the squared distance from the mean. And it's easier than it sounds. And for standard deviation, it's the square root of this variance. And you can see that up here. And this symbol actually is read sigma. All right, so we're going to find the average of the squared distances from the mean. So we'll take this 4. I'm going to say 4 minus our average of 7, and we're going to square it. So it comes out to -3 squared, which is 9. Then we'll do the same thing with the 13. 13 minus 7, the average, we're going to square it. It comes out to 6 squared, and that is equal to 36. We'll do that with the 5. 5 minus 7 squared is equal to -2 squared, so 4. 6 minus the average of 7 squared is -1 squared, which is 1. And finally, we end up with 9 minus 7, this is our last value, squared is 2 squared, and that is equal to 4. Now if we add up all our squared distances, add those all up, it comes to be equal to 54. And we want to find the average, so we divide that by 5. So our variance comes out to 10.8. But we don't want the variance, we want the standard deviation. So we need the square root of 10.8, and that is going to be approximately equal to 3.286. So remember I said we were subtracting the mean or the average in each one of these when we were finding the variance. So notice up at the top, here is my x-bar for all the means. So I went ahead and I plugged in the values and we divide by 5. So basically if you put it into your calculator, it would look something like this. And then you would get your same answer.